Right Wing Watch got their hands on a bizarre clip from a right-wing conference. This guy is named Jerry Boykin. He's the vice president of the conservative group, the Family Research Council. Let's listen to his thoughts on military spending. This is very telling.
You know, one of the things that people are not paying enough attention to is the destruction of our military. I mean, that's kind of the title of our military is being devastated. At the same time that all of our enemies, all of our potential adversaries are ramping up. Nobody's coming down but America. So what am I concerned about, Jim? I'm concerned about the fact that our military will not be capable of meeting the threats of the future, and America is not focused on it. And thank God for ISIS, because if it wasn't for ISIS, there would have been no focus and no attention.
That is one of the best Freudian slips I've ever heard in my life. Thank God for ISIS. Thank God for ISIS, because now we'll spend more on the military. Okay, debate over. Bottom line, extreme conservatives need an enemy to function. They are tribal by their nature. They need an other to be scared of, to the point where if they don't have an other, if they don't have an existential threat, if they don't have an enemy, they don't know what to do and they lose their fucking minds. And they say, please, God, give me an ISIS. Thank God for ISIS. We need an ISIS. We need an enemy. It used to be the Soviet Union, the evil communist. That's the bad guy. Demonize the bad guy. Before that, it was Hitler and fascism. Okay, bad guys. Those are the bad guys. Well, now we don't have a powerful, real state with a military and a navy and really threatens the United States of America. So they take this ragtag group of jihadis, maximum number they have, 30,000 people, and they make it seem like they are an existential threat to the United States of America, and we need to go after them just like we went after the Nazis and just like we went after any of our enemies throughout history. They need it to function. He said, thank God for ISIS, because now we can spend more on the military. So understand, this is clear. To him and to other extreme conservatives, high military spending is an ends in and of itself. See, to a liberal, high military spending would be a means to an end, the end being peace. No, he says the end in and of itself is high military spending. That is a good in and of itself. That is virtuous in and of itself. And the idea that we were slashing the military, show the chart. This is U.S. military spending versus the rest of the world. Here's my question to you. Does that look like we should fear cutting the military? No. As I've said many times on the show, we need to at least cut U.S. military spending in half. And we would still be the biggest spender in the world by a long shot, even if we cut it in half. And to be clear, I am in favor of having the U.S. have the highest military spending in the world. I have no problem with that. But do we need to have it that much higher? No, you can cut it 50%, 60%, fuck, if we're having a real conversation, maybe even 70%, and still have a secure United States of America, and still have the highest military spending in the world. No, what we have right now is not a defensive budget, it's an offense budget. It's clear we have 900 military bases around the world. When you look at the list of the countries that the United States invaded post-World War II, it's endless. We've overthrown South American governments and propped up dictators to help out our corporations. We overthrew the government in Iran in 1953. Why? We wanted their oil. We overthrew a democratic government and put in the Shah, a puppet dictator, to help out us and our corporations. This is why we breed hatred against the U.S. around the world, because we're doing the same thing in a more covert way that other imperial powers have done throughout history. But here, you hear it right from the horse's mouth. They love it. Thank God for ISIS, thank God for our enemies, because then we can justify spending more on the military, and that's all we want. To us, that's perfection. That's utopia. Always having more military spending and always fighting. I believe we have a word for that. It's called immoral.